Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Thomas. Today we're back here with Phantom Strider. Well, we're going back to McDonald's with this one. So this one's called the Priciest Failures Ever. So yeah, these are basically the products that McDonald's tried that probably hit the most in the wallet, you know? I mean, some are good, but they just couldn't either pull the bank or just not a lot of people liked it, you know? Cost to produce and all that, Economy, it can really be a killer. Well, anywho, let's see these failures. Be sure to like, subscribe for more. Hope you enjoy. Let me know if you actually had any of these. Let's go.
Sometimes McDonald's has put tons of money into a new menu item. They're just positive it'll be a huge hit with customers. We see it advertised and we're assured it's delicious. They promise it'll wash our cars, it'll do our taxes, it'll cure disease. But sometimes these items just get no interest from customers. Or they just taste terrible. Occasionally, these items even resulted in lawsuits. But many times, customers just go, nah, and the item flops. And these menu mistakes can cost McDonald's millions. So stick around and we'll uncover the priciest of these McDonald's menu flops today. These are mostly Macca's failures, but I'll also include a couple from other companies like KFC.
Oh, really?
Let's start with McDonald's mozzarella sticks. Ever since the 1990s, McDonald's has tried hard to push their mozzarella sticks, but demand was so low they just never managed to stay on the menu. In fact, in their final attempt to push them, the mozzarella stick failed so spectacularly that it ended in a lawsuit. You see, in 2015, unwavered by previous failures, McDonald's went all out with their biggest mozzarella sticks launch ever, determined to get them to stay on the menu. Back in 2015, they were priced at $1.40 for a pack of 3. So in 2025, they're probably $5 each. Anyway, this promo went terribly. Why? Well, people discovered that their mozzarella sticks had no mozzarella in them. Which isn't that surprising. I mean, it's not like McDonald's cherry pies ever had cherries in them. It's a bit too high an expectation for Mickey D's. Needless to say, customers were spitting mad and posted pictures on social media of their empty mozzarella sticks. McDonald's came out publicly acknowledging their mistake.
Our prep methods weren't perfect when launching this product. Cheese kept melting out of the sticks. We vow to fix this issue.
Yes, by never bringing them back.
Because I'm Nin.
I guess if McDonald's had just named their mozzarella sticks, well, probably wouldn't have stuck as well. But even before they could quote-unquote fix the problem, McDonald's was hit with a class action lawsuit from angry customers.
Really?
McDonald's had claimed their cheese sticks were 100% real cheese, but they were in fact nearly 4% starch filler. McDonald's denied this and the case was dropped, but the damage was done. As of 2025, I looked around for any signs of mozzarella sticks returning, and the only place I think they might be offered is McDonald's in Bulgaria, but I can't guarantee that. And finally, how did these non-mozzarella sticks taste? This lady on Reddit worked at McDonald's at the time, and these were her thoughts on the taste.
We had them for less than a year in total. My verdict was they tasted good, but only within a few minutes of coming out of the fryer. If you waited any longer than that, the cheese would start to congeal and it'd become gross.
Oh, this guy reviewed them in his car.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I miss car food reviews. Anyway, it definitely has that pliable, cheesy texture, and it was warm on the inside.
It's pretty pliable, warm on the inside, which is nice.
They tried it with the included marinara sauce.
The outside has an aftertaste of chemicals. Overall, a big thumbs down from me.
Overall, mixed reviews from critics, but I don't think we're missing out on too much. Ooh, how about the McDonald's?
Then even I would have been like, really? You trusted them? I don't know. Like, to be fair, they're a burger place. I don't know why they were trying mozzarella sticks, which, again, you don't really... That's like two different cultures, American and Italian. Like, even I would have been like, are you crazy? It's not going to work. Anyway, looks like we got a burger next with a sirloin 3rd-pound burger.
McDonald's sirloin 3rd-pound burger. Sound familiar? It's funny because when I hear the term quarter pounder, I tend to assume that's a pretty hefty burger. But in reality, that's not much over 100 grams. Though it sounds cool to say quarter pounder. Anyway, in 2015, McDonald's got creative and they said,
I know. What if we have an even bigger burger? A 3rd-pound burger.
That's like an extra 40 whole grams of burger. So McDonald's made the Sirloin Third Pounder Burger, a premium steakhouse burger aimed at improving McDonald's image with higher quality ingredients. Unfortunately, the burger flopped badly, with a McDonald's spokeswoman stating,
"Our sirloin burger didn't meet our sales expectations."
there were multiple problems with this Third Pounder burger. The first being that Third Pounder simply doesn't roll off the tongue like Quarter Pounder. The second problem is, every time a fast food company has tried to increase the amount of pounds to a third pound, the menu item has flopped. For example, in the 1980s, A&W tried to challenge McDonald's Quarter Pounder by introducing their own Third Pounder burger. Their campaign was called Third is the Word. Third is the word. It was the same price as a Quarter Pounder, but with higher quality ingredients and technically a bigger burger closer to 150 grams. But unfortunately, it failed because most consumers didn't understand fractions. You and I might understand that a third is bigger than a quarter, but some customers might have missed that day in school. A&W later found in focus groups that many Americans believed that 1/3 was smaller than 1/4. Customers were asking the market team,
"Why should I pay the same amount for a smaller third-pound burger?"
and what even is a sirloin burger? When I googled it, I learned it's a more tender cut of beef taken from the hind quarter of the cow. I couldn't find exact figures of the cost of McDonald's, but the burger fell well below sales expectations, so a lot of good sirloin beef would have had to be tossed out, and that ain't cheap, Jack. Let's ask the endorsement who taste tested it about a decade ago. The first thing he noticed was the onion and mushroom taste. He didn't seem to notice that sirloin tenderness and found the meat flavor gets lost in all the additions. He said the cheddar cheese mixed with the ranch sauce was delicious. It sounded like a better quality burger than the Quarter Pounder. But this was a name failure rather than a quality failure. Our next failure is KFC Beyond Fried Chicken.
It tastes like fried chicken, but it's made of plants.
Okay, first problem. That bucket is ugly. I love the forest, but that's not forest green. That's Carsick green. Anyway, in 2019, KFC had been getting requests from some customers for a plant-based alternative. Apparently, some customers went to Kentucky Fried Chicken to request chicken with no chicken in it. Obviously, it's fine if someone doesn't like eating chicken, but why go to Kentucky Fried Chicken then? There's plenty of other options besides the place with the word chicken in its title. I mean, I love game meat like deer and kangaroo for how sustainable, low-fat and environmentally friendly it is. But personally, I'm not going into Kentucky Fried Chicken to request they stock Kentucky Fried Roo. But regardless,
don't do that to
have an interest in that vegetarian market. So they partnered with Beyond Foods to make Beyond Fried Chicken.
We think that we're going to attract some new, younger customers that traditionally have not come to KFC.
I just see that right.
For more plant-based options in their lifestyle.
At first, the plant-based chicken sold well. In Atlanta, they had a one-day test of the chicken, and the product sold out in 5 hours. Their slogan for this plant-based chicken was,
"It's still finger-licking good."
Despite these initial sales, KFC said they had to evaluate customer feedback before restocking the restaurant. According to sources, the alternative was appreciated by many vegetarians, but some taste testers were less happy with the result, such as Amy on Eater.com.
"These Beyond nuggets are a little difficult to sink your teeth into and slightly rubbery to chew. The flavour is meaty and well seasoned, even if the texture isn't quite right."
Wow.
It's like it's made out of rubber, so sure, yeah, it could taste
I swear,
okay,
they actually did make it from rubber.
And notably, nutritionists came out stating that Beyond Fried Chicken was barely any healthier than regular KFC chicken.
The poultry is replaced with gluten or wheat protein, but the faux chicken is still heavily processed and fried, so it's not exactly a health food.
In fact, it only had
Yeah, I'll be honest. If I was going for like a Beyond chicken, I don't think I would have deep fried it. Like, I think I would have just got it grilled or something. At least then, like, there is also the fact, like, maybe it would have been fine on its own, but maybe the fryer's kind of like causing the gluten to shrivel up. I don't know. Like, I don't know what would happen if you actually did kind of like that, but I think if they'd done with a grilled style, it could have worked. But yeah, putting deep fried, like, Beyond chicken, I don't know. It doesn't sound like it would work, you know? I mean, still really deep fried, which could clog your arteries if you think about it. So, honestly, they just made it like a Beyond Chicken or something. I don't know, like a grilled chicken that could have worked. I mean, heck, in my store, I think there are some, like, Beyond Chickens that are, like, supposedly deep fried, I think. I'll have to double check, but it's just something I noticed. Anyway.
10 fewer calories and 1 gram less fat than regular KFC chicken. That being said, I don't think anyone's going to KFC expecting healthy options.
Ooh, chicken.
Regardless, this chicken-free chicken launched nationwide in 2022, but within 2 months it was removed from the menu. I suspect there's a couple of reasons it failed so quickly. It wasn't healthier, and according to some critics, it didn't taste as good. And perhaps the biggest problem for their target audience is KFC stated they're not prepared vegetarian or vegan, as they're swimming in the same fry oil as a chicken. So who was this for anyway? Preparation methods don't bother every vegetarian, but there certainly was no pleasing all their target audience. Notably, whenever I check those discontinued fast foods we miss listicles, I could never find any mention of the Beyond Fried Chicken as a food people miss. I mean, there is absolutely environmental benefits to getting plant-based alternatives into fast food, but that plant-based buzz totally stalled for KFC. Perhaps your average non-vegetarian customer didn't like the texture, and next time they visited, they just went back to regular KFC. I noticed around the same time, testing the McPlant burger at McDonald's failed in the USA due to poor sales, so it's certainly possible KFC had the same issue. As for cost, well, Beyond Meat is a big company, and KFC has started a global partnership with a goal to create plant-based menu items, not just for KFC, but for Taco Bell and Pizza Hut over many years. But this partnership hit the brakes so suddenly that, as of 3 years later, they seemingly abandoned all their plans and investments. And I seriously doubt that was cheap. Our next choice is McDonald's Mighty Wings.
So tell me what happened. We were playing for the Mighty Wings.
I've mentioned this one before, but if you want an expensive loss for McDonald's, you can't go by the failure of these wings. They were juicy bone-in chicken wings coated in spicy breading. Much like the mozzarella sticks, they tried hard back in the 90s to market these wings a lot.
These plump, meaty chicken wings are so delicious. Everyone is eating them up.
They even forked out the money to sponsor Michael Jordan to endorse them.
Yeah, MJ.
In that case, I better fly.
But they didn't stay on the menu for too long. They tried to bring them back again in 2013. Despite the aggressive advertising, sales were sluggish in the first few months, because apparently $1 was just more than we were willing to pay in 2013. Also, some customers felt they were way too spicy. One commenter had this to say on the taste.
I wasn't able to finish them because they were too spicy. I can handle the ghost pepper, but these were closer to the Carolina Reaper.
I've tried a Carolina Reaper. I don't know if I believe they were that spicy. That thing feels like fire down your throat. It's horrible. But either way, McDonald's was in a major pickle. They had a metric crap ton of chicken wings and no one was buying. So they dropped the price. Yet even with the discounted price, customers still wouldn't buy enough of these chicken wings. In the end, McDonald's couldn't manage to unload their gigantic surplus of chicken wings. So they had to throw away 10 million pounds of unsold chicken wings. For funsies, let's do a quick calculation. I found the average wholesale price of chicken wings per pound was around $2 to $2.50. So let's say McDonald's gets a discounted price at $2 per pound.
Yeah.
That would mean McDonald's flushed $20 million down the toilet. And that's not even including the countless dollars they wasted on marketing their discounted Mighty Wings. I feel pretty confident calling this a very expensive failure for McDonald's.
Bird? Did you bring the sauce?
Our next failure.
Yeah, honestly, I think the Mighty Wings could have been better, but they could just figure out what the heck was causing the spiciness. Like, everyone's saying, oh, hey, it's too spicy, we're not going to be able to finish it, and they never changed the recipe? Like, even I would have been like, okay, what the heck's causing the spice? Let's see if we can turn that down. Like, even I would have been like, what is going on with that spice level? Anyway, next up, the McPizza.
Here is Pizza Hut's the Priciest. Oh, this one's just bizarre and I love it. Today, this Priciest would have cost Pizza Hut $45,061,000. You see, back in the 80s, Pizza Hut used to be really creative. Pizza Hut was then seen as a more gourmet dine-in experience. Rather than today, where it's a few staff members rushing to take orders in a tiny store for a rush pizza, it's generally quite an impersonal, soulless experience nowadays. But back then, they really wanted to wow customers with how gourmet they could be. So they made the Priciest. It was part pizza, part quiche. I don't think I've ever seen anything like it before. It's definitely what I'd call a pizza pie. It's about as deep a dish as pizza can get. In fact, in the 80s, Pizza Hut took their creativity so seriously, they gave a marketing consultant a year to develop the name Priciest alone. A computer generated hundreds of name options, starting with P and containing a double Z. And they landed on Priciest. Really? Hundreds of options and they go with a name that sounds like garbled French with a mouthful of marshmallows? I guess pizza doesn't have that many good names beyond pizza. According to History Oasis, just developing the pizza cost $61,000. Adjusting for inflation, that's $183,000 now. But according to the Chicago Tribune, Pizza Hut then dished out $15 million for marketing, which counting for inflation is $45 million now. Apparently, all the commercials were shot in Italy to give it that fancy feeling. Pizza Hut said the Priciest was inspired by foods served to nobility in ancient Rome. The way it works is you have the bottom and top crust pizza, then in between it you have the filling ingredients like mozzarella, cheddar, sausage, beef, pepperoni, and pork. Sounds like an Arby's level meat treat. Okay, so I can't call this one a total mistake, as the Priciest was around for a few years and apparently it made them millions of dollars in their first year. But the problem was, they absolutely couldn't make it today in 2025 in our rush world, because the pizza took 40 minutes to prepare. I can barely get a soft serve quickly. Imagine leaving an overworked modern pizza maker to make this beast in a lunch or dinner rush. It's impossible. Stores are too understaffed and people wanted their pizza deliveries 10 minutes ago. Plus, the Priciest took over a pound of cheese. Sadly, by the early 90s, the Priciest had disappeared from menus, which is a shame, as I'd love to have tried this lasagna-like monster of a pizza. Perhaps a more obvious failure from Pizza Hut would be the hot dog pizza. I've mentioned this one before, but it's such a fascinating misstep that it's got to be at least acknowledged. Looking at Pizza Hut's relatively short list of discontinued menu items, it was this hot dog pizza that lasted the shortest time and widely considered a mistake by news outlets and Pizza Hut fans. Fans such as Foy's were left disappointed.
It was just meh. The hot dogs were more like Vienna sausages wrapped in pizza dough.
Business Insider tried it as well and wasn't too pleased either.
It was just your standard pizza with a soggy crust. The hot dog crust was too greasy.
Jon Stewart also reviewed this sausage pizza and had a very vivid description of the pizza crust that I will not repeat here to avoid being demonetized. But I can safely say I will never see the hot dog pizza the same way again. Our next choice is Burger King's Satisfries. If history has taught us anything about fast food, it's that if you dare make a low-calorie version of the original menu item, it better be at least as tasty, if not tastier, than the original. This brings us to Burger King's Satisfries. In 2013, Burger King's slogan for them was Big Taste, Less Fat. And honestly, I'll never mock a fast food chain for trying to offer a healthier alternative, provided they're not just taking the McDonald's approach of dumping some lettuce, tomato, and onion in a plastic container and calling it a salad. But Satisfries were a real alternative recipe. It had 40% less fat and 30% less calories than the original fries. That's fantastic. But obviously, it wouldn't be here unless it was a total failure. As Caleb pointed out in his fine report, there wasn't necessarily a market demand for healthier fries, and the Satisfries cost more than regular fries. So that made it less tempting to customers to try something new. If it's to have any hope, it's got to taste better. But, well, results
to show you, if you want to try to help you alternative,
try
to make it like
accidentally while trying to order regular fries. He described them as not horrible and better than regular fries. But another poster described them as tasting like bad diner fries. According to Motley Fool, some customers nicknamed the Satisfries the saddest fries, so they probably weren't too pleased with them. Interestingly, many people seem more abhorred by the name Satisfries than the taste of them. Let's see what the world of car taste testing said. Dame Drops gave them a 4-piece, which I think means 4 out of 5.
is definitely getting a 4-piece.
A bit too salty, but they otherwise got his approval.
But yet your salt hand is heavy.
But overall, mixed reviews, and the Status Fries barely lasted a year before they were discontinued in 2014. As of its failure, 7,500 Burger Kings in North America were given the option to keep or remove the fries. 5,000 restaurants decided to remove it, and the other 2,500 steadily phased it out. NASDAQ stated that the Status Fries failure was a heavy blow to Burger King. That 6 months, Burger King had barely any growth at 0.4%, and the cost to Burger King would have been significant. The Status Fries rollout would have required new fries products and batter shipped to all their restaurants in North America, plus of course failed advertising and the wastage of countless crinkle-cut potato fries they couldn't sell. But the failure does kind of make sense to me. If someone's going to eat fast food fries, they're unlikely to ever assume it'll be healthy, so they're probably not going to change their fries to a less tasty one to save a few calories. Now we've got to give a quick honorable mention to the Big Mac McDonald's Olympic promo, because this was one major money sink for McDonald's. I'm calling this one an honorable mention because it's technically a promotion and not a failed menu item, but it's way too interesting a story to not tell you about. Around 40 years ago, McDonald's released a disastrously expensive promotion known as
When the US wins,
you win!
You win!
You may vaguely remember this from when The Simpsons parodied it with Krusty Burger doing the same promotion in the episode Lisa's First Word.
It's all part of our Krusty Burger Olympic sweepstake, and if America wins a gold medal, you win a free Krusty Burger!
The Simpsons based this off that same McDonald's Olympic promotion from 1984.
Personally stand to lose $44 million.
And much like with Krusty, McDonald's promotion really backfired on them. The campaign was straightforward enough. If a customer bought a McDonald's item, they receive a scratch-off card with an Olympic event on it. If the American team won the gold medal for your scratch-off event, you got a free Big Mac. Silver, you won French fries. Bronze, you get a soft drink. It was an impressively risky way to get people invested in the Olympics. Unfortunately for McDonald's, many nations that year boycotted the Los Angeles Olympics, with nations like Germany and the Soviet Union no longer attending. America's competition was far less intense. Thus, the USA took home a whopping 83 gold medals, 61 silver medals, and 30 bronze. In 1984, a New York Times article described the number of giveaways as mind-boggling. And yeah, they weren't wrong. Some McDonald's restaurants even ran out of Big Macs due to so many giveaways. While the company never revealed how much money they lost on the promotion, estimates have been in the millions. The Simpsons said Krusty lost about $44 million on the same promotion. And given how many of the writers of The Simpsons are mathematicians and scientists, I'd actually trust their figures on this one. As of 2017, McDonald's announced they would no longer be an Olympic sponsor, so we'll probably never see this promotion again. Plus, why would they risk losing another $44 million? Anyway.
I mean, the fact that
Our next expensive mistake is McDonald's salads. For around 15 years, McDonald's salads were one of the most appalling long-term failures of the Big M. In an interview with Huffington Post, McDonald's reluctantly admitted this.
Our salads were only 2 to 3% of our sales.
If you've ever had a McDonald's salad, you probably know a big reason why they're so unpopular. They taste really bland, and despite this blandness, sometimes they were still somehow more calories than a Big Mac. As well just enjoy the burger. But CNN reports that McDonald's put huge marketing dollars into their salads, and they advertised these salads for years on end. The reason? Well, McDonald's first introduced salads to their menu in 2005. Shortly after the release of the Super Size Me documentary in 2004, regardless of if people question Super Size Me's validity nowadays, the damage to McDonald's reputation was huge at the time. So Macca's tried to use salads to promote their restaurant with a healthier image. And at first, sales were okay. But once many people tasted the salads, interest diminished exponentially. And as of 2020, 16 years later, McDonald's in the US finally removed salads from the menu completely. In 2024, the president of McDonald's USA said this to the Wall Street Journal.
If people really want salads from McDonald's, we'll gladly relaunch them. But our experience has proven that's not what consumers look for at McDonald's.
They can point the finger at consumers all they want, but maybe they could have tried making their salads actually healthy? Like, at least make them less calories than a Big Mac? How the hell do you do that? Anyway,
yeah,
as
you got
for
me.
cost, at
That's
first
what
I
they
thought
use.
McDonald's would have wasted a lot of perishable salad ingredients on salads no one was ordering. But their boring salads used to just be lettuce, tomato, cucumber, onion, and that's basically it. Except for the cucumber, that's everything that goes on their burgers. I guess they would have wasted a lot of money on throwing out unused cucumbers, but the main expense was the millions they spent in marketing these failed salads for well over a decade. But I guess if McDonald's crappy salads somehow convinced us that McDonald's was a healthier choice, they did their job? I don't know though. Did salads change your opinion of McDonald's? Well, that's for you to decide, but I'm guessing probably not.
Probably just rework the
And our
recipe
final
again.
expensive failure is the McDonald's Arch Deluxe. I left this burger for last because, well, it's almost a cliche to talk about it, and I've tried to give you some variety in this vid. But no expensive flops list is complete without at least mentioning the Arch Deluxe, because Macca's wasted around $200 million just on advertising this flop. As much as they might try to dress their restaurants up fancier nowadays, McDonald's has never been seen as a place of fine dining. Often I'll see people show up in their pajamas because, well, it's McDonald's, who cares? So in 1996, McDonald's planned to change that image and said, let's be fancy. Their sophisticated adult sandwich was the Arch Deluxe. Their slogan in this ad was, it's the burger with a grown-up taste. I mean, look how fancy they try to make it look in this commercial. Oh, gee, dude, where's your gloves when preparing food? Ew. Oops. Maybe that was more standard in the 90s before 2020. Anyway, this unhygienically prepared burger had not just any ketchup, but extra fancy tomato ketchup. 100% pure domestic beef patty. Classic American cheese, as opposed to classic British cheese, hickory smoked bacon, and a quote-unquote secret sauce for grown-ups. In other words, it's basically just your standard burger with fancy mustard, but so fancy. In 1996, the burger cost $2.59, which in 1996 was a lot of money for a McDonald's burger. Nowadays, the price of a regular Big Mac is around $5 to $6.40, go figure. The then president of McDonald's projected that the Arch Deluxe would make back $1 billion for the company. Unfortunately for them, it bombed badly. No one wanted the burger, and franchisees weren't interested in preparing it.
It required new buns, new sauce, new lettuce, and new seasoning.
And there just wasn't enough interest from customers to justify this specially prepared burger. The chef Salvaggio, who worked very hard on coming up with the recipe, was understandably disappointed. And no offense, by the way, dude, I know normally you'd wear gloves, it's just an ad. Interestingly, the Arch Deluxe marketing scoffed at the McDonald's core audience, someone who just wanted a regular McDonald's hamburger. Here in the commercial, we see this mature young lady sitting down to her Arch Deluxe, while her immature acquaintance has his, hamburger, while she has her hamburger with lettuce and grown-up sauce? Gee, this campaign was really stupid. I think the website Eater captured why the Arch Deluxe probably wouldn't sell nowadays. For many millennials and Gen Z, part of the reason nostalgia sells so well to us is sometimes being an adult just kinda sucks.
Trends are currently geared more toward nostalgia and reminding consumers what it was like to be a kid, rather than highlighting the increasingly limited perks of adulthood, like paying $20 for a burger when you'd rather be ordering off the kids menu.
Yeah, that feels very relatable. So, by 1998 and 1999, the Arch Deluxe was mostly phased out. Then finally it was discontinued for good in the year 2000, though McDonald's did try bringing back a revamped version in 2018 called the Arch Burger. But, well, it didn't stick around for very long either. And if you can think of any other particularly pricey mistakes from fast food chains, there's been a lot. Well, feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. And thanks tomorrow.
Well done there. I gotta admit, it's pretty nuts. Yeah, those things get expensive, you know? I mean, honestly, it is still nuts, you know? Well, anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed, because frankly, I feel stuffed looking at that. See ya.